65 is when it shifts to 6th gear. Finally have some LLY content on the channel. We are going to be converting my 05 LLY Duramax into 6-speed LLY. Those of you guys that know older Duramaxes, LB7 and the LLY are 5-speed Allison transmission, and then with 06 to 07 with LBZs, that's when they started making 6-speed Allison transmissions, and from then it lasted all the way through the first gen L5Ps, and then now with this L5P has 10-speed transmission. 06 all the way to 2019, it had 6-speed Allison transmission. For those of you guys that don't know, this is my second LLY. So I had 2 LLYs with 5-speed transmission, and after I sold my LLY, my first LLY, I upgraded to an LML, which has a 6-speed transmission. And let me tell you guys, for highway driving, 6-speed, that extra gear does make a huge difference. After driving that truck and my 10-speed L5P Duramax, I don't really enjoy the longer drives anymore in the 5-speed, just because I feel like I'm maxed out at 65 miles an hour or 70. Anything after that, the drone is pretty bad. Granted, I do have an axle dump, but it's just the overall truck is just way louder. The RPMs are really high. Anything over 70 miles an hour, your MPG starts to drop pretty drastically, I would say. 15 millimeter, you loosen it. For me, this fluid might be clean, but because my transmission line did leak, so I got all new transmission line and I got new fluids. So, but I'm still not going to recycle this fluid. It's just Valvoline transmission fluid. It wasn't that expensive, so I'm just going to use new fluids for this application. Oh yeah, still fresh. I'm honestly really curious to see what the internal transmission filter looks like, because I don't think it's ever been replaced. Up next, we gotta drop this pan. 13 millimeter bolts holding this pan. If I was smart, I could have timed this with upgrading to a PPE pan. I completely didn't think about it, so you guys will see another video in the future of me upgrading this to PPE's deep drop pan, so keep on the lookout for that. Oh yeah, lovely. Didn't think that one through. Up next, what you're going to do is you are going to disconnect the plug that's right here, like this. My plug was really gunked up, so I actually couldn't even see this tab right here, but all you gotta do is squeeze and pull it out. And now this part right here, what GM recommends is using a 30 millimeter socket or a 32 millimeter socket, and push that in, and then there's about 6 tabs. Push down on the tab and then it will release it. There you go. I really wanted to get this kind of filmed because none of the videos I've watched actually shows how it's done. So you just want to press all 6 of these tabs right here and then just push it out and you're good to go. All right, so let's take a look at the old valve body versus the new one. This right here on the old one is no longer there on the new one, but other than that, they are very similar. I would say that is the major difference between the two, other than the fact that this is going to give us one extra gear. So we're gonna have 6-speed now. After we get this installed, we do have to install the Duramax Tuners TCM. This is a very important step. They supply you with 4 new bolts, which goes right here. So make sure you put the supply bolts here. Otherwise, you're gonna have a catastrophic issue. So we are swapping out the external transmission filter as well. Donnie just got back from work and I'm putting him right to work. One of the things that I hated about working on this truck today was that torsion bar. It literally got in the way every time, and I kept bumping my head against it. So that torsion bar is my public enemy #1 at the moment. 10mm to remove this cover right here, and that's where our TCM sits. Just like that. One connector off. All right, old TCM, and then Duramax Tuners TCM. So this is a core charge. You send that in, and then Duramax Tuners do their thing. They tune it, and now you have a 6-speed. Now I got to figure out a way to finagle this in between here. It was kind of hard because I have this cooling crossover pipe from this HSP. Maybe I should have put that on here first. Or maybe at least I'm gonna do the bottom connection last. So that way I have more room. Like this. And then
perfect.
Done. First start. All right.
So far, it sounds good.
Okay. So I just gotta clear that check engine light. Apparently, the check engine light is gonna be there because I disconnected the connector. We'll see what this code actually is. I'm gonna shift a couple times. I'm gonna put it through all the gears a few times. I just want to clear that code and read that code real quick, let the truck run a little bit. Awesome. We are good. Put it through all the gears. Uh-oh, check engine light is still on. After struggling for about, I would say roughly 15 minutes, I was just going to wait until, right now it's Saturday, I was going to wait until Monday to call Duramax tuners to see what was up. Check engine light finally cleared because I had to just start the truck about 6 times, turn it off, start it, turn it off, start it about 6 times. And before doing that, if I put it in drive, obviously because it was throwing a TCM code, the truck was automatically in limp mode, in which you could see on my CTS3 that it was in 3rd gear, which is a clear sign of your truck being in limp mode. Now we're in 1st gear, check engine light is gone. It goes into reverse real quick. It goes into drive real quick as well. So I think we're good. We're gonna go for a test drive. The shifts are gonna be pretty rough for the first, during the whole relearn phase, I guess. Oh shit! Pack the first.
That was really hard.
I know. I feel like I have like a built trans now. The way it's like shifting and going through like its relearn phase. It's gonna be another hard shift back to 1, just like that. If I can get this truck in the 3rd gear in the neighborhood, it's better. It's getting smoother and smoother every time. All right, 3rd gear. Then we're gonna come back down again. Brace yourself for the impact. Oh,
damn! It wasn't as bad.
Yeah. Going.
Damn.
It's not as bad. Yeah, let me go on my stock tune. Let me just go on my stock tune.
I bet that would help.
Yeah.
Ooh. Not really. Passes, we're going to speed up to about 60, and we should be in 6th gear for the first time. It's still downshifting a little harsh, but it's getting better. Alright, so 2. Going about, there we go. Going about 60. 65 is when it shifts to 6th gear. The RPM right now going 60, 65, I would be pretty close to like 1800, close to like 2000, and right now it's hovering 1400. This is nice. This makes driving the LLY a little bit more fun. It's way better.
Yeah.
Fuel economy is going to be way better too.
Oh yeah. That driving experience is going to be way better. About 75, we are hovering about 2,000 RPM.
So could you imagine if we're like on 80, we'd be hovering around 2200 RPM. So going 80, we're at 2200 RPM. A little over 80. Back down to 75. Now we are probably close to 2,000 again. Yep, hovering right at 2,000, 2,100. So far, driving around the LLY with the 6-speed conversion, one thing I did notice is it doesn't go into 6th gear until you're roughly going about 60, 65. So most of the city driving, you're in 5th gear. Or I should say, you're only going to go up to 5th gear. Now, as far as that goes, it's not really any different than when the truck was just a 5-speed LLY. Now, if you are doing a lot of interstate driving, a lot of highway driving, then yeah, that extra gear going 75 to 80 is going to help, because like you guys saw before, it was in 2000s or a little higher, and the truck was just screaming anything over 60, 65. Now I'm going 70, 75, and that's very comparable to 5-speed going in 60, 65. So it does reduce the RPM, in which it makes the truck quieter because it reduced the RPM, and also it's going to increase your fuel mileage. But I would say that's very beneficial if you are on the interstate, if you're doing a lot of highway driving. But if you are just doing a lot of city driving, or if the speed limit is 55, and if that's the fastest you really drive for the most part, I wouldn't really say this conversion kit would be worth it for you. But like I said, interstate driving, highly recommend it. TCM tuning from Duramax Tuner. So far, everything shifts so well. There's still a couple of hiccups because it is still going through a relearn. But other than that, like, shift points are really good. Truck shifts really well. I can't wait for the whole relearn process to be over, so that way I can go to a higher tune and have some fun with the truck. In conclusion, if you do a lot of interstate driving, I highly recommend it. That extra gear makes a huge difference. You know, this is my second LLY. I've had an LML, and now I have the 2020 L5P with the 10-speed transmission. And one of the things that I kind of dreaded about this LLY was the fact that it was a 5-speed. And now that it's got that extra gear like the most modern Duramaxes, it makes a huge difference. And that's why I kind of joked around saying that this is now an LBZ, which I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for, because it is going to be the title of this video. But to me, when I was looking at buying this Project Duramax, I really wanted an LBZ, but the price difference between LBZ and the LLY was pretty substantial, and I was not willing to pay the extra amount for the LBZ. And I would say one of the biggest differences, I know a lot of people, I know all the LBZ guys are going to come in the comment section and tell me how, you know, the LBZ engine's, you know, built better. It's got like what, 40, 50 extra horsepower from the factory, blah blah blah, which I get. But for me, the biggest difference between the LBZ and the LLY, like when I was searching for one, was the 5-speed versus the 6-speed. And I really wanted that extra gear. I wanted that 6-speed, and that's why I wanted to buy an LBZ. But I just couldn't justify spending the extra about $5 just to have that LBZ tax. Once I did head gaskets on this truck and new head studs, now I got the 6-speed. This truck is better than any LBZ, and I said it. It's got an upgraded turbo and everything, and I've said it. So this truck will be better than any LBZ out there. So, nah, I mean, it's all fun and games, you know. I'm just joking around, but So yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I wanted an LBZ. But now that I have the this LLY with the 6-speed conversion, I'm very satisfied. So to look at it this way, if you are torn between an LBZ and an LLY, you can get an LLY probably about $5 grand cheaper, at least where I am, and this conversion kit's about $2 grand. So that right there puts you at still coming on top $3 grand, which you can still put that towards doing head gaskets and head studs to really make your truck into pretty much a bulletproof vehicle. So that is it for this video, you guys. That is the 6-speed conversion, and on the 6-speed conversion on the LLY. And just for the fun of it, I called it turning my LLY into an LBZ. So I will see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. Let me know if you have any questions, and if enough people ask the same question, I will do a follow-up video. Maybe do another review in 6 months to kind of let you guys know how I like the 6-speed 6 months later. So thank you guys so much for everything. I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Like, comment, and subscribe.